We'll move on. The next item is review and approval of open enrollment exception requests. And what do we have?
So there are 4 requests, 2 that are incoming and 2 transfer outs. So I believe there's an embedded document that summarizes those for you. Transfer in are 2 students who are attending Toma High School, and they moved to New Lisbon at the end of September, but they would like to continue to have their children attending the Toma School District. And they could have actually completed a waiver to be able to stay, but the open enrollment applies as well. And then the 2 transfers out, one is to virtual school, McFarland. You can see the explanation there. There's been, the student has severe environmental allergies and immune system struggles. So they've missed quite a few days of school, and they think that online schooling will hopefully help her meet her educational needs better. There are 3 out requests. We added the 3rd one just at the end of the day today. The second explanation, as you can read there, the student had attended New Lisbon under open enrollment, moved to Milwaukee because of the father's medical condition. Now they've moved back to their previous address and they want to continue attending New Lisbon. And lastly, I'm waiting for some clarification on student 3. We cannot deny the open enrollment here. This is a student that was expelled from our school district, though, in which you signed an expulsion agreement that they would be responsible for earning the credits. Now, we've been told by DPI that we can't deny the open enrollment, but I want to make sure that we are not going to be expected to pay for it, because it seems to be contradictory if we've expelled a student and then we have to pay for that. So we need to check into that. I don't know.
So the student was
expelled from the Toma School District. DPI, they've open enrolled to go to McFarland, the virtual academy. I don't know why they need to open enroll. I don't know why they can't just enroll there. Mm-hmm. But because they filled out the open enrollment paperwork, Mary Jo Cleaver sent us an email today, who's in charge of open enrollment at DPI, and she said we can't deny the open enrollment.
But I agree, it just doesn't sound like it should even be open
enrollment. Right.
And we typically have that stipulated at the student's expense.
Right.
Right, but you've expelled a student from the Toma Area School District. That doesn't mean that they can't attend another school district.
Right. But by filling out the open enrollment, they're saying that that student is ours and we have to pay.
That makes sense.
So McFarland does not have to accept them. Mm-hmm. That's the key. But I'm trying to find out if we have to pay.
I don't know how that would be different than any other student that has been expelled and is attending another school district if they're opening enrolled.
We would transfer money if we expelled them and they attended a neighboring school district.
If the other school district allows
accepts
them in, I don't know how. You're not expelling the dollars, you're expelling the student from the school. That doesn't mean that you still don't have an obligation to pay for that student's education if they go to another school district.
So that language in our expulsion agreement just has no effect?
So then when we...
What is that?
Well, a lot of our expulsion agreements say that they can transfer credits at their own expense. we explicitly state it has to be at their own expense. But I mean, I see normally how it would operate, we would still be responsible for the open enrollment transfer, but
So when we expel a student, I guess I need clarification on this then. When we expel a student prior to the third Friday count, are we still counting that student and getting state aid for them?
No, because they're not in attendance.
Right. So
Well, it
then,
doesn't matter if they're in attendance or not
No,
in
they're-
your school
they're
district to be counted by another school district. It's a matter of if they've applied for open enrollment in that other school district, so it doesn't matter who the student is. If they're not in attendance in a school in Wisconsin on the third Friday count, but they come after,
right.
we still pay for it. I mean, we still have to pay for their education. You see. Interesting question, but I don't know how the dollars went following.
Language has always been like that.
I mean, I suppose our decision to approve or deny is just going to have to be independent of what money follows,
Right.
right?
At this point, and then we may have to re-examine the expulsion orders in terms of what we decide to do.
Apart from that issue, are there any other, there are no special needs issues? Anything that would take them out of the ordinary consideration?
No.
Do you want us to wait on student 3, or I don't think there's even a basis for waiting on student 3?
I think I would recommend that we just approve them and we'll sort through the payment.
I would so move then to accept both the open enrollment out and open enrollment in requests as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve both the open enrollment out and the open enrollment in request as presented. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. The ayes have it. That motion carries, and the 2 out requests, the 3 out requests and the 2 in requests are approved.